All right, welcome back to In the Kitchen with B2B Leads. We have an exciting episode for you today, all about how to find your perfect clients on LinkedIn. A super important component to actually having a lead generation system that works for you day in and day out, generating leads on LinkedIn. And I'm super excited to share that with you right now. All right, let's get straight into it. How to find your perfect clients on LinkedIn. So a lot of people think that you just reach out to your audience on LinkedIn and they think about it very broadly and you just get the results you get. But one of the best things you can do, especially when you're first starting out using LinkedIn to generate leads, is as you start to do it, you start to get volume up, you start to get data, and you start to really understand who your perfect audience actually is. Now, for people who haven't done a lot of digital marketing, for a lot of people, their perfect audience is whoever's willing to buy. But for a lot of people, like very well-established businesses who have got a lot of referrals and whatnot over time, their perfect client is obviously ones that they can generate good results for quite quickly. So the reason this is important in terms of being a good client is that it becomes if you can get someone good results, obviously they're going to talk about you and your service, they're going to share with their friends, and you get that organic growth, which is amazing. Obviously, we want inbound leads, we want word of mouth leads, we want referral leads. These are the best kind of leads you can possibly get. Unfortunately, it's hard to really control or adjust the volume to those kinds of organic leads. And we really need a way to generate our own leads using digital marketing methods. So the reason it also helps to get good results fast is the faster and easier we can do it, the more leveraged it is, the better a business it is. I mean, a business isn't about solving a problem, it's about solving a problem efficiently. Most people can, if they put their mind to it, solve a problem. I don't go to a doctor because I'm incapable of learning how to, learn some medical textbooks. It's just inefficient for me to do that every time I get sick. It's far more efficient to pay whatever it costs to go to a doctor and leverage their time because it's more efficient. They can do it more efficiently than I can. So that's what we want. We want to be able to generate people good results fast. Now, when it comes to generating leads on LinkedIn, it doesn't just matter who you can generate good results for fast. I mean, that's obviously ideal because sometimes they're not always the most responsive audience. It also needs to be someone with the market need. And so in terms of your perfect client on LinkedIn, I'll add one more thing in here. You can get good results for fast. They have the need, they know they have the problem, they need a solution, and they're engaged on whatever platform you choose to reach out, whether that's phone calls, LinkedIn, email, outbound. I focus a lot on LinkedIn because I find it a really great way to drive engagement, but it doesn't really matter. But what you need is your potential client to be engaged on that platform, have the need, and get good results for quickly. Obviously, that's important for just your business in general. So the cool thing about using platforms like LinkedIn is that you can really do a lot of testing with different audiences and start to, over time, obviously learn who you can get these great results for fast, but most importantly, who has that market need. And that's really going to be the biggest driver in terms of identifying your ideal audience. As an example, I like working with digital marketers. I find I can get really good results for them quite quickly, but they don't have as much of a need as, say, other people I work with, enjoy working with in SaaS products, software development, because obviously marketers generate leads as well for themselves, so the market need isn't necessarily there as much, despite the fact that the results are quite easy to get. Whereas tech consultants and people more technically minded, I can get good results for fast, and there's also a market need there. So it's really important that we start to find out who has that market need, and there's really you can make all the assessments and assumptions in the world, but there's really no way to find out this market need until you start hitting the pavement and start messaging people and start to understand where that market need lives. The important thing to do is not just go out and start messaging and hope for the best, is really to track what you're doing and look at the numbers and start to understand, all right, who's connecting, who's more willing to engage, where am I getting more leads and where am I driving more sales? Because ultimately, you've got all these different points from first touch point with a new prospect through to connecting, through to engagement, through to nurturing, through to getting on a phone call, through to a sale. And you can say, oh, we're getting lots of connections in this market, or we're getting lots of engagement in this market, or whatever. But ultimately, you don't really care about any of that. All we care about is where are we getting the most outcome. And you might find you're getting the best outcome in a market where there's not necessarily a huge amount of connections or engagement, but when you have a much bigger need for people who actually want to go all the way through to a sale. So in terms of identifying your ideal market on LinkedIn, obviously people that you know that you can get good results for fast. So if you can look at people you've worked with in the past and you say, yeah, this is, you know, these are our most profitable clients that we like working with. Okay, that's a great place to start. Maybe identify some industries or potential clients that you haven't worked with and build a series of campaigns to test and understand the different points and see where you're getting the best bang for your buck. Because ultimately, it doesn't even matter if you get them good results fast if you just can't get them to get any interest because there's no market need there. And running campaigns, whether that's through paid marketing, whether that's through LinkedIn, cold calling, whatever it is, but actually segregating your audiences and learning to understand is going to give you a much better understanding of how to generate leads easier and far more cost effectively, because you spend a lot less time filtering through people who don't have the interest. So you're just slowly decreasing over time your cost per acquisition for each sale. And now you've built like a real solid business. Your inputs far less than your actual outputs. In terms of the engagement, one of the best things you can do on LinkedIn is build your audience, find your audience, build a list, use Sales Navigator. It's a paid subscription, but it's super powerful. And there's a function where you can actually find people who are posting on LinkedIn. It's usually a smaller percentage of the overall audience, but what we know about this audience is that they are engaged, they are using LinkedIn, so it substantially increases our chances that they're actually going to engage with us. So, in terms of finding your perfect clients on LinkedIn, the best thing I can suggest is to segment your audiences, do testing with your audiences, and start to understand where the market need is best. And obviously over time, as you work with more different types of clients, you're going to get a better understanding of where you can get good results for fast. There's also some cool things you can do once you've done this long enough and you see how many leads you're getting. You can take all the titles from those leads and create what's called a word cloud. So if you just type word cloud in Google, you'll find a ton of free applications and you can dump all those titles in there, and it'll start to give you an indication of the most common terms. And once again, that gives you the ability to start to tighten your targeting and focus on the people who you know are more likely to engage. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope that's been helpful. As always, you can learn more at b2bleads.com. And my name is Ryan Caswell. And as always, have a great day. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. Of course, you can always learn more at b2bleads.com. And of course, like, subscribe, all that usual stuff really helps the channel out a long way. So thanks again. Hope you enjoyed and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.